starting off, I just grew up in a very toxic home with my parents, and that ended in divorce. But something that doesn't usually happen. I end up staying with my dad. A lot of times during divorce, the kids kind of go with mom, but I stay with my dad. And in that, there was some good and bad. I like to lead with the good, as far as just being a present parent. They say that the first man a girl falls in love with is her daddy, and that's true. Just learning how I should be treated, being really stern in education and things of that nature, like being very present in after school activities and sports and things like that. But outside of that, I always say he was a good dad, but he was a horrible man. I watched my father be a womanizer. I watched him be abusive to those women, like really physically abusive. And so as a child, I thought that this was normal for a man to treat a woman, because my daddy was beating women. He had different women in the house. He was a single parent, so he did have to go to work, and he would drop me off at a babysitter's house, and that opened the door to me being molested for the first time when I was 8 years old. The babysitter had a teenage son that she would leave in charge of us, and when she would leave, the babysitter's son would molest me when I was 8. Of course, never said anything out of fear, didn't say anything, still with my dad, still watching my dad do the things that he did. On top of that, his alcoholism increased. I noticed he would drink beer every now and then, but for whatever reason, he would drink a lot more than usual. On top of that, what I didn't know at that time, he was going through some mental health issues. My father was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, on top of being an alcoholic. And one day I remember I got in trouble at school, and my father had what they called a psychotic outbreak. And my dad, whom I loved, who I was used to, my primary parent, my hero, all of the things, he snapped, and he ended up beating me halfway to death with a wooden paddle and a belt buckle. He then tried to drown me that night. So that was at 10. I kind of bounced from family member. I went to his mother's house. I went to his father's house. I was with my grandparents on his side for a minute, but the rebellion started kicking in. Ended up going back to LA with my mom when I was 12, which opened up a door to more tragic things. We had a neighbor who lived across the street. He was my stepfather's friend, and he would speak to my parents every morning. So it was somebody that I was familiar with. And one day I was locked out of the house. I ended up getting out of school early, was locked out the house. And this neighbor, this family friend, told me I could stay in his house until my parents got home. And he raped me when I was 12. He was like a 40-year-old man, and he raped me when I was 12. A year later, I was at the bus stop. I was 13 years old. This man pulled up in the gas station on Figueroa in LA. And, he was the finest man I had ever seen in my life. I thought I saw Jesus. I was like, who is this? And, I'm 13, and all I saw was an older man. He liked me. Something about me, he liked me. Later to find out he was a pimp on the prowl, looking for his next prey. And I just looked like a dollar sign, a new one for him. And I ended up having sex one time at 13 years old with a 27-year-old man that got me pregnant after one time. So all those who think that you can't, you do the oochie coochie one time and it's over.
That's all it takes.
No, it's all it takes. You take one time. And I did it one time with this man, which led me to teen pregnancy. I got pregnant at 13. I hid my pregnancy until my water broke. I was about 6 months. I went into premature labor, and I gave birth to my son. When I gave birth, the baby was premature, so he eventually passed away. And I always say, Miles, the little girl that went into that hospital wasn't the little girl that came out. I was strong. I was still, able to handle my trauma with the being molested at 8 and my dad trying to kill me at 10 and being raped at 12. But holding a dead baby did something to me. I always say, a piece of me died in that hospital with that baby. And when I came out something different. I just came out something different.
Hey, what you just saw is a clip from our show, How Pastors Are Made, where we go through the good, the bad, the ugly, the ups, and the downs of becoming a pastor. We appreciate you for watching. Pretty please hit that like button and definitely hit the subscribe button. If there's a pastor that you want us to speak to, please let us know. If you enjoyed this conversation, then the link to the entire conversation is in the description. Also, we have plenty more conversations with other pastors. We would love for you to watch those as well. If there's a pastor you want us to speak to, again, let us know who the pastor is. If you are a pastor watching this and you want to tell your story on how pastors are made, there's a link in the description. It gives us a little bit of information so that we can contact you and schedule a date to record so you can have the next episode of How Pastors Are Made. With that being said, God bless you. We love you all. Find somebody and find a way to do something good.